I don't know about this one, but yeah, let's give it a go.
A lot of MMOs suck.
True.
There. I said it. That's just the sad reality of the situation.
It is what it is.
Finding
man.
a worthwhile MMO to actually play long term is incredibly difficult.
Like, be honest, every time you watch one of these top 10 best MMORPGs in the current year, you always see the same MMORPGs. Like, it's Guild Wars 2, it's Black Desert Online, it is World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14. It is always the same thing, and I can guarantee you, like, 2 of them are gonna appear in this video, or 3 of them, I don't know. But it is gonna happen.
As most of them are just so filled with pay to win, unnecessarily bloated systems, and well, they just look or play like garbage.
Yeah, it's
which is honestly why I have actually been playing so many gacha games recently. On average, I've had more fun in Arknights, in Azure Lane, Punishing Grey Raven, and more recently Counterside than I have in any MMO. But that doesn't mean that there aren't any good MMOs out there. There just aren't many. Before we go any further, though, I do want to give a quick shout out to all of our patrons.
And the thing is, all those big MMORPGs are soaking all the players, like Lost Ark, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, all of them. Like there's online, I guess. Is that still big? I don't know. But yeah, the smaller MMORPGs, they resort to hardcore pay to win. So they get the small amount of number of players which are actual whales to get at least some money out of it, and that's a sad reality. Otherwise they can't sustain themselves, otherwise they can't gain any money, and that's sad and pathetic, man. Like, but there's no other way like that.
Over on Patreon,
I hope that changes sooner, of course.
This channel is technically monetized due to the nature of a lot of the content. Patreon allows for me to at least make something off of these videos, so kudos guys, you guys rock. Today specifically, we're going to be targeting exclusively free MMOs. Not pay to play, not buy to play, good free MMOs that anyone can jump right into and begin enjoying.
We're all gonna be pay to win, of course, but yeah, it seems that people aren't up to that, and that is not a big problem anymore. Damn. Bro, into the controversial one, Blade and Soul, man.
We're going to be tackling this alphabetically, starting with Blade and Soul. Blade and Soul is a gorgeous PC MMO developed by Team Bloodlust and published by NCSoft. It's a large...
I guess the game has a good story.
Open world title that features a plethora of different unique
insane
zones
how he
filled with their own
to
interconnected
look at his eyes, man. The lust.
Stories, world bosses, earnable outfits, dungeons. It has what is arguably the best character creator in the free MMO scene, allowing for some absolutely incredible and at times incredibly ludicrous looking characters.
Yeah, they're ridiculous,
There's
man.
a massive focus on, well,
it is insane.
Plot, both types. The combat is a high-quality blend of flashy action and martial arts, providing the large selection of classes, unique combat styles that just aren't present within the rest of the genre.
And now we have Black Desert Mobile.
Black Desert
You
Mobile
can counter in Black Desert Online because it's only like $4. That's basically free to play.
Is the mobile version of the incredibly popular Black Desert Online PC title, developed and published by Pearl Abyss. However, where BDO is a paid premium title, Black Desert Mobile is not, and is instead completely free. This is an absolutely gorgeous game, easily one of the most stunning MMOs exclusive to mobile platforms. Unfortunately, as is the case for most mobile exclusive MMOs, the game world is much smaller than its PC counterpart. Despite its smaller world, it's no less filled with content to consume, enemies to mow down, and classes to enjoy. It also features some solid customization.
What I already like are the premium currencies in the the top shelf, man.
Options given the nature of its platform. It features a lot of auto combat, however, which for your average MMO
not
player
a big fan
might
of
be
that.
quite a turn off.
Really
It
not.
does allow you to set it and forget it though, which is I feel like personally all but a necessity when it comes to either Black Desert title, trust me.
What is the reason to still play an MMORPG if you just can auto clear all these camps? You don't get attached to the character, you get nothing out of it. It's sad, and I think it's a pathetic way to do it like this.
You will not regret having this as a feature.
No, you will. If he already says that you won't regret it, that means that the game is gonna be tedious and boring. That's already a bad game. Digimon Super Rumble, man. Nothing from me.
Digimon Super Rumble is an MMO adaptation of both
Good
the
story,
original
man.
Digimon World
Great
PS1 game and the Digimon
You saw
Adventure
the world building, man. That was insane.
anime developed and published by Move Games. As a
Fucking
Digimon
hell.
fan, you'll find yourself repeatedly coming across a nostalgic environment like Factory Town
Pretty
and the
nostalgic.
Village of Beginnings. You'll encounter Digimon and their associated stories like Andromon or Monzemon. It was all so surreal.
Bro,
Just
what is MMORPG about? This was a turn-based online game. What the hell?
seeing all of this adapted
Says
into an MMO.
MMORPG.
The world itself is large and open.
Stix,
It's filled
come
with so
on.
many places that I can immediately recognize. It's packed with such a large variety of different Digimon to recruit and Digivolve into. It does utilize a turn-based combat style, however, which
Not
for
a
an
big fan.
MMO is
Gonna skip this.
incredibly unusual. It definitely made it feel more like a JRPG to me, one that you could actually play with plenty of other players.
No, we got Dungeon Fighter Online. No, whoa, that
Dungeon
is
Fighter
good one.
Online is a hub
I
MMO.
played that back in the day, like when I had a garbage ass PC, garbage ass laptop. It could run nothing except like League of Legends or Minecraft on 25 FPS. This was the good shit back in the day. Like in Europe and like in the Western world, it's more quite of a niche title, I think. But in Asia, or specifically in China, it's fucking huge, man. Like it's insanity.
Developed by Neeple.
And
and
I love the art style. And also it gave me, even though it looks much more different from Elsword, it gave me some Elsword vibes, when
published
I'm
by
being honest,
Nexon,
man.
unfortunately. This is the only hub MMO included in this list, but what I mean when referring to it as such is that unlike every other MMO in this list, and in general, Dungeon Fighter is set predominantly within a selection of different town hubs, areas that you can interact with and connect with other players, visit stores, craft, but the bulk of the game takes place within dungeons. Instanced dungeons that you can opt to either tackle solo or with a group of other players. There's no
Yeah, but prepare for the grind. The grind is gonna be really grindy in this game.
character creation present, although there are outfits that you can purchase
But
or
that's
that
all,
you
man.
can earn
It is what
in-game.
it is.
Customization of your character takes the form of class customization, providing players a significant number of classes and subclasses to progress into, adding additional depth to an already
You get some variety in that. That's always great.
very deep system. Combat is complete action. You move horizontally across the screen, and then you mash your letter keys, performing absolutely ridiculous abilities that fill your screen with so many different effects that at times you won't be able to tell where you are or heck where your enemies are.
Yep. And now we got Grand Saga. Is that based off Grand Blue Fantasy, perhaps? I don't know.
Grand Saga is a stunning
Oh.
new cross-platform anime MMO
This
developed
actually
and
looks
published by
great.
NPixel.
Like for real.
This is one of a very small selection
Impressive.
of gacha MMOs. MMOs that allow for
Holy
players to obtain
shit.
various different waifus or husbandos in-game. In Grand Saga, though
Like, I wanna see more games like this, which can be a top contender against Genshin Impact. Because as a huge Genshin Impact fan, I wanna have some rivalry between MiHoYo and some other companies, so they actually do good stuff for players and try to innovate more. I know the content they bring out, like the new regions and the new areas and the story quests, they are pretty great. But the problem with Genshin Impact is that the system itself in the endgame is completely disgusting. It feels like a job, and you need to wait for new content to come out till it becomes fun again. But yeah, I guess in that time you just play another game.
Those characters take the form of weapons, providing unique appearances and combat styles that you wouldn't have otherwise. This game features a large
Definitely
open
gonna
world,
try this one
plenty
out.
of
Like,
areas
for
to
real.
explore,
It
plenty
looks
of
promising.
things to see. Although, like most MMOs built around the mobile platform, and much like Black Desert Mobile, it does feature auto combat, which again, in a
Yeah.
mobile game kind of makes sense.
Not,
Thankfully,
not a big fan of that. Like, Genshin Impact doesn't have auto combat. Like, it works without it because the gameplay is on. Imagine.
you're not forced to use auto combat if you don't want to. I often find it to be more of a hindrance than anything else as you continue to progress further into games.
Bro, this
Unfortunately,
looks
Grand
gorgeous,
Saga
man.
is,
It's
at the
insane.
time of recording this, only available within Asia. However, they are
The big problem with Asian servers or Korean servers in general, and then when we are also on the EU servers, the problem is that we are like 2 years, 3 years behind. I don't know how long the time difference is between the Black Desert servers in the West and Korea. Like I don't like that shit. Like, they get stuff like 5 months before we get it. Like, that's fucking BS, man. That's not cool, man.
looking to expand
Everyone should be on the same update line.
into
More.
the global market in the very near future.
Guild Wars 2. A good old classic.
Guild Wars 2.
But yet to truly fully enjoy it, like, try it out for free. Like, the base game is basically meant to be a demo to be tried out, and when you get to max level, you can't really do the expansions. You need to buy them to get more out of the story, more out of the cosmetics, I guess, and shit like that. But yeah, this is a good casual experience.
Is arguably the best the free genre has to offer. Developed by ArenaNet and published by
Maybe? I don't really know about that one.
NCSoft, this game has retained hundreds of thousands of players year after year, receiving large content updates that continue to expand the game. This is a large open world MMO that puts a different spin on the traditional formula, disregarding the leveling experience that we're all familiar with, and instead providing players
And yes, I wasn't a big fan of that one.
a unique set of leveling options that require you to actually play and explore what the game has to offer. Guild Wars 2 has one of the most extensive class systems present in the MMO scene. Each class has the option of equipping 2 weapons at once, and each weapon offers a separate selection of abilities, meaning
That's
a
a
lot
good
more
one.
time and effort goes into selecting your gear and to your class. The combat is
I
a
like the PvP in that game, like, that was quite enjoyable.
hybrid blend of action and tab target. Some abilities require a target and others don't. While it definitely looks a little dated by today's standards, this is still easily
Not
one
a
of the
huge deal,
best
like, this actually looks good, in my opinion. Like, there are much more dated MMORPGs out there, it's insane.
titles you'll find
It still
yourself
looks great.
playing.
Lost Ark. Not a big fan of that one. Like, I was in the end game because
Lost Ark.
I quit that game. As it turns out, it has a massive player base, but 90% of those players are basically bots. And that was proven.
Ark is a newer title.
Just look up a video of it. Like, if you don't trust me, just look in the internet, just search for yourself. It is so blatant, but there are so many bots in Lost Ark. This is absolute insanity, man.
Releasing globally earlier this year.
But
the
it's a
game
quality
is developed
game.
by and published by
still fun.
Smilegate. As a direct result of being so new, the novelty has yet to wear off and many players are still actively playing it. This is a gorgeous game graphically, the environment, the classes,
Bro, the PvP in this game lit, man.
the
Pretty good.
characters, everything about Lost Ark screams quality. Unfortunately, this is a top-down isometric MMO with a gameplay style and perspective that Path of Exile and Diablo games utilize, so it definitely isn't for everyone. It does utilize a
Imagine Lost Ark was third person. That would be
full action combat system,
pretty
however,
great, man.
with your abilities being bound to your letter keys and the movement to your mouse, which honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only
It is third person, but a bit isometric, man. I don't know.
one that feels
It doesn't
this
look
way,
good.
but I still find it so
It only fits in with like these truly hack and slash games. Like this is not truly an MMORPG, it's more of a hack and slash multiplayer, I guess. And it's quite instant. It's not that many players which go around. You know.
usual to run around with my mouse. I cannot for the life of me get used to it.
What? For me, no problem at all. Like that shit ton of Diablo 3 and PoE.
PSO2 and PSO2 New Genesis
I
are...
only played the older version of Fantasy Star Online, yeah. You know what is great about this game? The gameplay. It's actually fun, like when you are in the levels. But you know what is absolutely horrendous and disgusting? It's the fucking UI. It's garbage ass shit, man. Jesus Christ! Like what did they do with the UI? Who the hell designed that shit? Like I'm disappointed. Like alone, the UI alone turned me off from the game. Like the game itself had great gameplay. I really wanted to learn about it. I really looked up videos, guides to not fucking end in my dungeons, in my raids, or something like that. Or I wanted to be somewhat useful. But when I used the fucking UI, it was disgusting, mate. Like no one needs to endure the shit. That's garbage.
Well, kind of the same game.
I hope they fix that in PSO2, but it doesn't seem like it. Like this only the hotbar. If you see how to actually open inventory and shit, it's disgusting.
They're both connected to one another. They utilize the same login info, the same character. You're capable of transferring yourself between both versions of the game. They're both also developed and published by Sega. PSO2 is a hub MMO taking place on a space station and deploying yourself in group onto a variety of different worlds where you engage in missions.
Holy shit, like
PSO2
90% of the fight is just
an open world, albeit segregated MMO, while fully open has highly limited caps on the amount of active players that are capable of coexisting on the same channel, meaning you'll likely never see over 20 or 30 people in any area outside of the towns. Both utilize full action combat, however, New Genesis honestly looks and plays better in my opinion, and as it feels like a genuine MMO, would be the game that I play over the original incarnation of the game 10 out of 10 times. But being able to play through both at any moment and move seamlessly between games is something that no other MMO does.
Forum Online. Holy shit. I played that back in the day, like it was a garbage ass mobile game. Still pretty fun though.
Torum Online is an
But yeah,
MMO
it
developed
looks
for and
strange.
published on mobile
Sorry.
platforms by Asubimo, but
I played it for like 3 weeks and then quit it.
recently received a port over
It was-
onto PC. And let me tell you, the port was
A bit of
necessary.
nostalgia.
This game is built for cross-platform functionality in mind. This game honestly doesn't look too great when compared to other games in this list, and that's a reasonable opinion to have, as Subimo games never really excel graphically. However, Torum excels everywhere else. It offers a decent narrative for players to follow. It has a world that feels like an MMO. Hundreds of players, literally everywhere you look, all participating in and consuming the same content that you are. It has a tab target combat style that almost feels like an amalgamation of both the tab target and turn-based genres right out of a JRPG, and it works. Everything about this game goes a ways to show why Asubimo MMOs are as popular as they are.
Yeah, it's okay. Wait, it's already out. Tower Fantasy.
Honestly, Tower Fantasy is launching in the next couple
Like
months.
was the most anticipated one. It's still not out, but yeah. It has some scandals, it has some drama because they stole some like graphics from other game and used it in a trailer. But yeah, that's some drama, that's some scandal. I don't really care about it. I only wanna have a good experience while actually playing the game. If you can do that, then you got me, bitch. Like, if you do that, you got my money, I guess.
So it seems fitting to list it here, especially given how much fun
It
both
looks great.
Stix and I had in it during its April.
Like, it feels like a Honkai Impact Genshin hybrid. That's pretty interesting. And then so, yeah, why do you call it like that? Because that's just blatantly saying that they are copying from each other and shit like that. But man, Genshin Impact copied it from another game called Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild copied it from another game, and both game also copied it from another game. Like every game has some elements from other games. It is what it is, man. Maybe they copy it, maybe it's really blatant, maybe not, maybe it's just a complete coincidence. It can also be it, but it always leads to like the first PC game. And please don't get enraged when some of the same mechanics are in the game you previously played. Like, bro, why are you getting angry about that? Like, who cares?
Closed beta.
Don't be so offended about everything, man. Like, you need to find a bit of peace in your life. Like, there's some real advice.
Fantasy is developed by Hada Studio and published by Level Infinite. It's a
Grow
fully
up.
functional cross-platform MMO, the first game to be built with both PC and mobile functionality in mind, as opposed to games like Grand Saga or Odin Valhalla Rising, which are both mobile games at their core. Tower of Fantasy is a fully open-world MMO, as in no segregated zones, no loading screens whatsoever between any of the regions.
Like, if there are no segregated zones, like this truly immerses you, this truly gives you the feeling of a truly open world MMORPG. I love that shit.
100% full, complete, seamless exploration. And both the world and the graphical style of the game are absolutely overwhelmingly attractive.
Yes.
The game utilizes a full action combat system, allowing for players to freely attack
You really see
whatever
the assets
target
of
they
the
want.
character.
Although at times you'll find yourself locking onto random targets, and there is the option to toggle and cycle through enemies like you would in a tab target title. It also features a gacha system just like Grand Saga, giving you the option of obtaining additional characters, additional husbandos and waifus that are once again weapons, each offering their own unique aesthetic appearance, their own weapon style and purpose. And the best part is you can actually play the game as any husbando or waifu you want. And that's it. Those are pretty much the best free MMOs that you'll likely want to try if you haven't already. They're some of the best that the genre has to offer, and if you're unable to have fun in at least one of them, well, it's probably best to either stick to gacha games or single player RPGs.
Yeah, then it's just something for you.
Just a quick FYI.
Truly, there are no good MMORPGs here right now, which are free. It is that truth, man. And yeah, that's actually it. I guess thank you for watching. If you want to see more garbage ass reactions like this one, then I wouldn't mind if you would leave a like and sub. And I guess I see you next time. Stay Sigma, stay on the grind. And yeah, that's actually it. See ya.